Hey Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Happy New Year to you all, and welcome to your January 2024 tarot reading. Let's go ahead and get started with your message and see what comes out for you guys. I feel like this is going to be a good one. I got this huge download for Cancer. I'm not going to take too much of your time, so I will shuffle in the meantime. But at this download about some of you guys having some sort of big fight. But I feel like it's sportsmanlike, okay? You could be preparing for something. This is not for everybody, but this is a memo or a message that somebody needs to get before we really get into these cards and dive deep. There's somebody here who is very important at what they do. They have a great training schedule and things like that. You might have a big fight planned ahead or coming up here. And I'm not the type of person to just be fucking with people's energy. It came through a download, I gotta tell you, right? Just being honest with you. What I'm gonna tell you, what you need to know, is actually the root word of patient. You need to study it, you need to learn it, you need to learn the Greek as well as the Latin background and base of the word, the roots of it. And in this patience, you need to remember slowness as well as agility. All of these things are very important, these specific terms and words for you, because I feel like this is not the way in which you move typically. You might be short, quick, and to the point. And there's something here about you needing to be in a more graceful energy, in a more rhythmic energy, and a more patient energy. As I said, the main reasoning behind it is hamstring as well as groin pull. There's something about you having the wrong footing. You were meant to have the wrong footing, my G. It's going to happen. But instead of having a full fucking tear, my friend, wouldn't you rather just have a slight, little pull, but be able to save yourself and also not only win, fuck the pressure of it all, but succeed and exceed, right? But I'm getting here that to some degree, you need to make sure about your long-term recovery for your career and your health. Okay, simple as that. So for everybody else, I feel like you need to reconsider some things, go back to the drawing board and replan, recalculate, reestimate. There's some wonderful plans that you had, but it just wasn't the right timing. Or there was somebody around you who was real demeaning, who actually was trying to feed off of your stuff, and you've had to turn away from that person who tried to navigate so much power and dictatorship in your life. And I feel like this is a person here who you have kind of, it's not necessarily that you turned against. I feel like you were always for yourself, because there's something about this that showed you like you kind of need to be for yourself in totality and not for someone else. So I feel like if you're struggling with partnerships and relationships or something like that, I feel like there's something about expanding forward, planning forward on your next venture. But if this is talking about love and you're a groovy motherfucker and just likes to play games, I feel like this is a warning of like you might need to revise that planning or how you plan your life, how you navigate things, because I feel like something is getting dimmer for you where you thought it was getting most bright, and it's just truth. Yeah, something to come faster once you leave something behind. Some of you guys might be moving quickly, but leaving something out in the cold because it's just not meant for you. But I feel here, be very careful that it's not colder than what you perceive it. This is a very risky energy and wind and feeling that is happening and going on, especially if you're in a colder climate. Oh, it's so fucking crazy. 25, man. This is not to be cocky or boastful, but it's just to, show love. I had a few people from back home where I'm from, my hometown and shit, kind of let me know a few things that were going on at a time where it was really, really, really icy, blizzardous, solid. There was unwellness, there was depravity, starvation, and I know how to use my gifts and abilities and how to work with Mama Gaia and how to, what is it called? Compromise, and how to actually be of love when it comes to that compromising. And I just prayed um, that you guys would have a bit of a warmer Christmas than per usual in that area. And it happened. I got the confirm around that time. So, I feel like you need to release the resentment. Release like the resentment, the residual energy. In certain areas, you might not necessarily be able to control things, just like it might be difficult to get out if you know that you have some sort of illness or situation or ailment that comes in from it being so damn cold. You never know how people are affected. So, I just thought I would go ahead and pray for that and send a gift like that to every fucking hater there, You're welcome. But yeah, it's like leave the resentment out. There's more important things to focus on than just fighting. There's a better purpose. You might be that person that is worth it, but you just don't like the pockets of the motherfuckers who are trying to fight or vie for your attention. Because you feel like, to a degree, they're not worth much. I feel like this is a petty person from your past. This is somebody that you've left behind. And I feel here like this demeaning energy of trying to like fight. Make sure that you're fighting the correct battles and that you're not resisting your own fate. Because it'll make you fucking miserable now, won't it? Doesn't mean that you won't have opportunities to change that, as you always do and as you always will. But for some of you guys, time is running out. And if we're dealing with somebody who unfortunately loves that idea, I would definitely encourage you to seek higher help, especially suicide prevention in that hotline. If that's not helping you, you need to reach out to somebody who does care for you for the right reasons. But if you blew all of those, you might want to start with yourself. Because that's some self-destructive shit. And if you know you're in that energy, be very wary of who you come towards, especially if you come towards people with that same intention or energy. Like is attracting like during this time, and there's huge change here, and I don't necessarily feel as though Cancer, especially specifically in the first week, is prepared or quite ready how they thought or believed. It's like they're trying to leave concepts or ideas by trying to manifest some sort of security, but it's like they're asking around to people who actually want this fate for them. So be very careful that I'm not picking up on you when it comes to that Cancer. And if you know that you're a good person, that people care about you, that you're loved, and, wherever you are, they wanted me to say loved in your hood or whatever it is. It's like, handle it with a sense of class, elegance. Even if it is helping somebody who harmed you at one point in time, because they're not the goal, they're not the ultimate purpose. Even if they try to strike you in any kind of way, shape, or form, it just looks terrible on them, especially when you've helped them perpetually and they just want to use. They probably didn't get the warmth. Maybe they were in jail or in prison. They couldn't enjoy that shit or something. The Eight of Pentacles, yeah. I also feel like this liberates you from distractions when it comes to your work, your endeavors, and what you are working on. Be mindful of what it is that you are working on, because I feel here that if Source has been trying to give you some sort of opportunity to grow and to flourish, it feels like an opportunity that might be a disguise or a mask, a disguise or a mask. This is probably somebody worth more than you realize, but they come in and make you a small offer just to see how you would treat it. And maybe you need to be mindful to appreciate certain things, or maybe certain opportunities that you thought were just little pages are actually really fucking important. And depending on how you worked, determines what it is that you get, how you're planning. If you have healthy planning strategies, I feel like you don't have much to worry about. But also, you might not connect with what I said in that last statement about people fighting against you. It feels like people will really love you for what it is that you do. If you're receiving the opposite and you have a lot of people who seem like they're in a sense of delusion around you, surrounding you, these could actually be people who are helping to celebrate your downfall, because you're actually surrounded by people who have been preying on this as well, surrounded by ops. People don't have your best interest here. Or there are also people here who are equally disillusioned for similar same patterns as you, if you are the person here who is struggling with this sort of a situation. Especially if they're Pisces, Leo, Cancer, or Scorpio. Wherever there's a sense of commitment issues, I feel like you're going to stably know where you stand. Forget the burden of the ego. Some of you guys will have something to feel confident about and stand on. Or you've been working towards this and you're not working for nothing. Even in those moments, specifically in the first week, around Friday, either Tuesday or Friday, for some reason I'm getting that first week, there's almost like this feeling of like, oh, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to like fulfill me. This, that sense of doubt, that truthfulness, that honesty that comes in. You must not be led astray, but also don't fight the truth. I feel like you learned perpetually through this historical basis of how you've connected with humans that the way in which you operate in any way, shape, or form, I don't care what we're really talking about here, because for some of you guys it's monetarily related, for some of you guys it is romantically related, but I'm also getting here that there might be a sex worker here, and so it's kind of one and the same influence. But there are other people here. There are other people of high success and caliber here too. Like I'm seeing a doctor, I'm seeing a craftsman, I'm seeing, there's a lot of stuff here, but I feel like the concept still applies and it's knowledge that needs to be received. And you need to really take it like it's important, because there's something here about too much ego trip and doing just your job. There's something about it that's going to change or shift, and you really need to be mindful of where you are, because you might be starting fresh in a new opportunity. While it's exceeding your expectations as far as monetary pay, it's new people here. There's new situations here. It's nothing to worry or fret about. I feel like it's a positive challenge, but of course the body will naturally, and the psyche predominantly, will express this sense of excitement. You might also feel certain risk factors if you are aware of how you're influenced by certain moon phases. I would challenge Cancer the second week to definitely be kind to a person of the zodiac sign from an authentic place. I feel like it needs to be genuine, of course, but of the zodiac sign of the next new moon and full moon. Some of you guys actually need to practice this without having a sense of need back from individuals. And I feel like it needs to be in an area in which you lack. So if you are very successful, you're very business savvy, you have huge financial stability here, but sometimes it gets to your head, you need to do something that is connected to the ego that actually makes somebody else feel good and it's genuine. It's just an example. This does not mean like if you know you're not shit in love, like you know that you're not a person who is actually into monogamy and faithfulness. This does not mean that you go to somebody that you know is interested in that and, try to start a conversation and start it off. That's the same fucking pattern of behavior and the problem that you have as it is. It's condescending. And it's also showing the lack of growth. And also it might be, why something gets fully removed from you. maybe the chance to do this, to connect with human beings, especially, cancers thrive off of social engagement. I feel like you're at risk of losing something that's very important to you. For some of you guys, it could be street credentials or values or something like that. Like, seriously. Also, the sense of emotional fulfillment and stabilization here. But for those of you doing the work, I do see the opportunity for a blossoming love here, one in which you can work and grow on. And I feel here that in this energy, this could even be just a change in the philosophy of how you feel about this concept. There could have been something that influenced you, changed you, that made you lose out on something that maybe you even resented or fought against, or, it took a while for you to, heal and cope from this. Maybe some of you guys who struggle with addictions found yourself, testing that relapse energy and all of this stuff. I empathize with you, especially if you're like resenting yourself and you struggle with that. I encourage you there, because that's coming through too this month. For those of you struggling with that, you need to have some sort of patience with yourself, because I feel like this actually was causing you to go over the edge if you struggle with some sort of form of addictions, especially if it has a side effect of you having like handshakes, or if you have freezing to some degree, or even a sense of dismissiveness towards the self. It's almost like something that you do, a concept that you were taught that was healthy, is actually not healthy for your growth journey in a truthful and honest way. There could actually be a better approach. And so if you have this welcoming of a new cyclical, something that you're fully aware is almost a karmic cycle, I feel like you're going to be very apathetic towards it, because you see the new opportunity, you see the truth and how this could lead you astray. That's why I always specify like therapy and any forms of like guidance that you receive is just a tool, a resource. You do have to fit it to you. And sometimes if you have people who have strong rules or boundaries, you have to find an adaptive route, one that is more suitable for yourself, because it can actually be harmful more so than beneficial. And if you truly and authentically want the change and you want to keep it, and you keep experiencing the same relapse and lack of growth, what is that explaining to you? That is the sign. Don't ignore it. There's room for growth at that place that you love and support, and there doesn't have to be any harsh or bad feelings. But once you find out the truth, you just find out that's a karmic thing that just doesn't connect with my being, because your story, your truth, and what you are meant to learn makes you motherfucking unique. Okay, it's like having a personal birthmark or something, like it makes you important, it makes you significant. What you've been through, what you've experienced is unique to you. And so to not recognize that is almost beyond not limiting yourself, but limiting your future. Because who I'm picking up on, your goal is to actually be a coach to others and shit like that. How are you going to coach if you can't really step up and lead in your own life, when you recognize that there is actually a true problem, and you recognized and sensed, your intuition sensed. I'm seeing your nose smell it and your eyes see it. I can't really explain it, but the way that they dilute it shows that there's a sign of something being off in connection to your soul's purpose and journey. And that's possibly why your ears open up and tune in, because you're meant to learn what you need to learn from this stuff in a good way. But not everything is correct for your path, what you're meant to do, how you're meant to lead people in the future, because there are groups of people waiting for you, bro. It's not just about you, and I don't want to make you codependent, but I might be motivating you, because maybe you had some people kind of like putting you in your fucking place, or putting you as a number. Like, okay, eventually, after like 5 years, you might be a leader and shit like that. And it's not to say that you still can't be that or be a volunteer, still stay there at that place. But most importantly, most significantly, is about your success and growth. And I feel like what you're going to see by year 3, waiting in line for this bullshit, is that it is such. Because there's a person here with a huge vendetta. It's a fire sign or a water sign with like mad air placements here. But this is a boss like figure, a woman or somebody who is a head who just really up and decides that they don't like certain stuff. It's not even just you. And that's not cool. And I don't feel like they're right in what they're doing either. I feel like it's actually immoral. I'm picking up on some shit that's happening down the line though, but maybe, one day you come back and not say shit about it, because sometimes I don't like to hear about it. Keep that shit as peace, journal about it or something. Sometimes I'll be knowing and hearing about it and seeing it, and y'all don't even be knowing it, Sometimes I don't need the double confirmation of certain shit. Thank you, that's enough. And yeah, they might actually be risking you from meeting your true person, your true counterpart and shit like that. Be mindful of like where your mind is going to. Be mindful of where your mind is going to. And also be careful of any risk that you take when it comes to love like this. This could be 2 platonic friends who actually turn lovers. But be very careful of the intentions. Because I actually feel like this is future oriented and related. It has something to do with you moving to smoother, calmer waters. And I feel like if you tried to get in somebody's way or stop somebody's growth at one point, this is what you're receiving by the end of the month in your life to some degree. Somebody with a higher calling or caliber than you, like doing preventative measures to kind of block this. So be careful. But also for those of you who are like, maybe coming together as like, this could be people who are coming together as parents, colleagues, co-workers, like co-parents and things like that, or something. Like, I feel like what somebody doesn't recognize is that somebody embodies both within one being because of somebody's like apprehensiveness. So I could even be picking up on the masculinity and femininity of a person simultaneously within oneself and how they view themselves. Some people experience having feelings of that, feeling very loving towards oneself, focusing on self-love, but also very honest, very authoritative, very on point. And I love this Queen of Wands because they actually do take action. They don't just put their hand up. I feel like somebody here has mind thoughts that they need to kind of get in balance or in tune and in alignment. And this year as a whole has a lot to do with the crown chakra, which I think is just so mad important, because considering that we are still healing and recovering from an experience that is unique as far as the health of a world's perspective here, you need to be very mindful, very, very mindful of the things that you may not have seen coming, things trying to creep up on you. Especially if you are a person who has experienced signs of depression or darkness, or your shadow aspects, maybe recognizing the better times to do it when it's most suitable for your energy so that it is beneficial for you and that it helps you to grow. Recognizing that you actually do have the power and the gift and the ability to positively maintain your spiritual sense of self, elevating your intellect as well, but also how to be very cognitive on using all of who you are in a dynamic way so that you don't overcrowd one or the other. You maintain this balance. This could also be like the type of relationship that you are seeking out or are manifesting or seeking, whether it's with an air sign or not. I could even be picking up on two people with North Nodes and air signs who are meant to be, but maybe, different signs as far as their sun signs. And this is possibly why you feel like there is a connection here. But I feel like there's one person who comes in and I feel like their head is clouded because they don't do bullshit. They don't accept it. Okay? But be careful that somebody's not just like farting and fuming up the rooms, lying and shit. Because I feel like them fumes might kind of spread. Maybe you're dealing with the person who has like digestive issues or something like that, or maybe they're lactose intolerant. But also be very careful and mindful because I feel like there's something here about like really not trusting motherfuckers whatsoever. Really not, often King of Swords and Queen of Swords would be considered one of the lesser signs of preparedness when you see like this of seriousness when it comes to a relationship. Although they are together here and are coming through as a pair, I feel like you work best together, but there's a recognition of how this relationship is meant to be. I feel like you're quite determined in that, okay? And that's where it's healthy. And that's okay. That's acceptable. I feel like if it's okay and healthy for both, it could be healthy. Maybe somebody has learned, hey, we're not meant to be lovers of any sorts, or somebody's accepting it or something like that, but can be great business partners and things like that. But you better make sure that your business is divine and not just masked and lies. Especially if you're the feminine, because I feel like if something goes awry in this relationship, if it's a relationship, this person will fucking snitch on you to high authorities. And I don't feel like the snitching is necessarily bad. I feel like, both people here might have been energetically jaded or scorned. The sun. I don't mean to expose nobody, but we're talking about the feelings of people who don't really discuss those much. And sometimes you might have a hard time determining how you're feeling energetically or the vibe that you're giving off. I feel like somebody's really trying to come to the table with a karmic motherfucker trying to mask them as a king when they're over here fucking with everything and everybody. Because they might be, quote, trying to accept that somebody is open, sexually open, they're trying to, whoever the fuck this is somebody trying to mask the truth of what they've done. This is somebody here who is so desperate to get a person that they might have stolen them from somebody else, just to then find out that this person, like, they're never going to commit, they're never going to mature, they're never going to change. So I'm just going to settle and accept that type of shit, and accept this flighty person who has this open door or is quick to just, up on a whim and be back and, try to play games and shit like that. But, unfortunately, I can't change the beginning of this note. I am picking up on people who, not being fucking patient enough. And there we go, the fastest fucking night. So it's somebody who thought too quick, trying to have something of everybody else's here and then trying to force good chemistry into a situation through manipulation. I feel like somebody got somebody so damn convinced, like, oh, that bitch must have really wanted it. But it's like, nah, you don't know whose opportunity they really took, me. And I feel like that's the crazy thing about seeing some of this stuff. It is a new and a fresh year, and it gives you a fresh lens and scope and perspective. I don't mean to be so damn truthful, and I'm damn sure not honorary at all. But I just want to be very honest with you when I say that, a lot of people throughout the pandemic at one point in time believed that there was just so many people that were just up and leaving and crossing each other and getting out of shit and seeing shit for what it was or seeing where shit was fake and all this shit. It's going to be like double, triple that. And that's why I say one of the most emotional signs, and one that is connected to the moon and the feminine energy, there is going to be this recognition and cognition of empathy of the moon, those who connect with the moon, and it being a feminine energy, like I stated before, how you've treated feminines, how you've connected with your family, how you've done certain things. Some of you guys are going to find that there is true justice in how you've handled things in certain situations, and others of you are going to find shit riddance, like real bare. Okay? And life all fucked up. That doesn't mean that you won't have good moments either, all right? But I'm just saying, it's going to feel tough. It's going to feel real fucking tough. But that's just what comes with it. That's the nature of things. If you actually struggle with learning and you mask it as you not liking to learn, we learn and discover things on the daily. And even something as small as that, to me, can trigger that somebody is not really happy where they are or being here. And it's little signs like that for me that notify me, hey, you might want to do something about that. You might want to try something. You might want to discover something new that you might not think is interesting. I've seen people who are really patterned to a certain lifestyle. Even their parents have kind of encouraged this sort of conformity, even while lying about not doing it. Grandparents and everything else. And I empathize there. But like I said, that change and struggling with that and the risk, you could have actually lost some, people who really do care for you, but who also know how to protect themselves, thinking that just because they didn't show you everything, you could take it off. You had that mindset, and that's why you lost a grip. You learned from that situation, hopefully, but if it's repeating again or has the opportunity to repeat, or you trying to mask, hoping that maybe a better thing of that same thing will come along, it's just not. Bro, you just got to remember where you are on your journey and what's really happened and be realistic. Either you or somebody here has somebody who is like so scared that they're praying to God, but like God then stopped listening in, and it's not a joke. They might have even taken what you do as a joke at one point because something didn't work for them. But you explained to them what happened. They just didn't want to believe that truth. When that shit went back in your being lying, because you were so attached and addicted to it, it's not about me being weak when Allah says, nah, that shit stays. I ain't never gotta lie, baby. Don't trade your authenticity for approval. That's what it would have cost. And who the fuck did you think you were? You want too much with nothing, not enough. I feel like that's where y'all are at with this energy, Cancer. This synergy is like, the way that you handle things is so boss. Or 10, your hardship or enemy is dead. Hallelujah. So now love, new beginnings, and positive changes and other things can come in this motherfucker that they were actually apprehending and holding up. Do spell work, do candle magic, do people doing voodoo, do people doing hypnosis on you too long and then making you get really sick and they actually not being able to change or stop it. It sucks when somebody is so fucking scared that they actually recognize, hey, I actually don't know how to tame or control my power, especially when somebody's fucking innocent. Because they didn't do the proper research. They just do it for money. They don't really care. This could even be like a spiritual worker or somebody who was casting stuff on you to try to keep you low. This is a male and also a blonde and there's a blonde female here that's coming through. There's I feel like they said a masked singer. Be careful and shit. I don't know people's stories and who they are in real life, motherfucker. Oh, shit. Somebody said fuck Dancing with the Stars as well. So, yeah. But seriously though, you never know. Yeah, this relationship is short term, but exactly what you need right now. You know, you may have a heavy workload. Don't lie about how hard you work or what you realistically can put up there. Expected and unexpected moves helps resolve a personal issue or recognize a character flaw. And that character flaw is typically within your damn self, first and foremost. Let's be clear, especially for those of you who love the twin flame journey. Check that sacral chakra, that feminine energy. Ooh, some of y'all, that's so fucked up. We was talking about the moon and y'all didn't sacrifice the feminine, a divine feminine at that. Talking about they fake. All that little bullshit, they synchronicities and all that other shit, and then froggies and toads and all that. Like when you see that bug and it's all this other bullshit. Like somebody be like trying to spy on you during your off times when there's not permission, and they actually need this because they're fearful of this one thing. This could be where somebody's struggling because maybe, like I said before, maybe somebody did struggle with a parent who didn't necessarily have the best patterns, and you know, they claim that they tried their best to their hardest, but I also feel here like there was a lot that they withheld. There's a lot that this child or youth withheld at a point in time where a mother could actually protect them because they were fearful of a whole bunch of other shit that they don't like to talk about. So they kind of like slash their inner child. And it's like, what good does that do you? Even if you want to be out here enjoying life, because some people literally don't have like a true person and they don't want that. They kind of just want to, you know, float on, have, you know, many connections in life and enjoy those things and live a healthy, prosperous life, you know, but to sacrifice somebody just because they really are the true opportunity for you. And it's something that you didn't know what you wanted until you had, and now you keep trying to remake it or relive it, but just short-term versions of it and shit like that. Like, fuck that. You could try to work on it and balance it out, balance with Brown, but just be careful of like um, how that stuff comes in, because if you haven't really been doing that work, oh, it'll feel nightmarish initially. But if you're willing to keep going, it's like any, you know, form of coping and healing and recovering. There's a fucking process. You know, people often judge me for certain things that I ain't have going on. I don't judge them, but just mind yours. You feel me? Mind yours. Because there be some people dead wrong casting it on themselves because I really do have that power. It can't be taken or stripped. You know what I mean? So, you know, find yours and like really hone in on focusing on your damn self and not trying to steal sacrums of others or sabotage other people or put them down. Because it is coming up as a warning. You do come with a risk. You know, this situation, this conversation, this thing that you need to work on, this advancement or this change or this acceleration. You need to start acting in it and doing it and living in it and being that. Because if not, there's going to be a hell of a fucking storm waiting for all of the risk, all of the disrespect, all of the torment that you have put others through without recognition, like of reflection. It's a lot of turmoil there where you could actually be in that hallelujah phase and experiencing that. Okay, so you choose who you want to be. All right, I'm not here to judge, I'm just here to read today for the high vibrational ones and for those who need to actually learn something here from this and maybe not feeling so high. Hopefully you will get there at one point. I pray that you do. Okay, Cancer, so that was your message. I hope that it resonated for you. Thumbs up the video, share it, subscribe. I love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all next time. Bye.